Leak about to take off.
Hold on, let's get this right here. Y'all see that cute kid right there? Y'all see that beautiful black chocolate kid right there, man? Like, anybody who knows anything about music should know who this is by now. Like, and if you don't, this kid right here is Michael Jackson, one of, if not the greatest entertainer of all time. You know what I'm saying? Like, this man right here, like, we all know this man's story. We all know this man's story. Like, but at the same time, it's a tragic story to boot. Like, as much as he is a musical genius, this man was a musical genius. He was a writing genius. He was a production genius. Like, he was a genius all around. Like, Michael Jackson, no matter what you want to say about his personality, Michael was never dumb. He was never a dumb guy. But the thing about him was he was so very awkward. He was so very, very awkward, yo. Like, yeah, that's right, Huscular Muscular Genosha. That was the spot that Magneto wanted to take the mutants to. That's exactly right. You were exactly right. At least I know you know, homie. I know you know, man. Yeah. And Michael Jackson is definitely one of the greatest dancer of all time. Like, I still be rolling when people always want to say that Chris Brown can dance better than him. I'm like, no. Like, Michael Jackson in his prime would outdance Chris Brown any day of the week. Like, it's just not even funny. Now, of course, when Michael got older and he started to get more frail, Michael always, would do some of the same moves here and there and stuff like that. But with Michael in his prime, nobody could touch him. So I think people need to stop talking about, oh, Chris Brown can outdance him or Chris Brown can outperform him. Michael Jackson, definitely, Melody Bellet. He is the GOAT. He is definitely the GOAT. Like, that's not even up for debate. Like, anybody who try to debate that, y'all need help, because this man has made timeless music for basically a lot of genre, not just R&B or pop or whatever. Like, this man had a hand in a lot of stuff being done, yo. Like, he is that dude. Like, he was that dude, man. But everybody also knows Michael's backstory. Like, Michael really didn't have much of a childhood. He really didn't. So everybody knows because his father, Joe Jackson, always made him and his brothers, rehearse, 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 rehearse. They never really had time to go outside and really be a kid. And as you clearly saw, the fact that he never had a chance to really be a kid, that affected him, especially when he got older. You know what I'm saying? And oh man, it's just a shame how this is how he ended up, being, before he ended up passing away back in 2009. Like, it's crazy to think about, because he would even call himself Peter Pan. And everybody know Peter Pan is the kid that never grew up. You know what I'm saying? So he always would talk about trying to experience his childhood even as an adult man. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do you think he had Neverland? You know what I'm saying? Because he wanted to experience his childhood even as a man, because he never got to really experience his childhood when he was a kid. Because every time he would see kids outside playing and stuff like that, he couldn't do that because he had to rehearse all the time. He had to rehearse with his brothers. He had to run from the mall. He had to do this. He had to do that and all this stuff. Like, he never had the time to really be a kid, and you can tell that affected him so much. And it's just so sad how it affected his mind and it affected him as a person, because even though, like I said before, he is a musical genius, but he was he was very awkward to the point to where he would sometimes think that he was a kid himself. And that, unfortunately, is what got him into a lot of trouble over the years. But, a lot of parents was trying to sue him for rape allegations or, M allegations against other children and stuff like that, which, I mean, it's just so crazy to think about, man. It's just so crazy. But yes, rest in peace to Michael Jackson, the greatest entertainer of all time, greatest dancer, all that, yo. So that's all I got to say about that. And yeah, but he's another one. He is basically one that I definitely thought about when I came up with this topic because he perfectly embodied what I mean by childhood, or the lack of childhood is what ended up molding him into the person that he was up until his death. So again, rest in peace to Michael Jackson, and hopefully you find peace on the other side, my brother. Now to the next person. Now I want to know: do any of you guys in the chat know who this kid is? Like, exactly, Melody. Lies, 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 lies. And then, even like 10 years after that man's death, they're still putting out allegations that he did it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, like that. What's that movie they supposed to have had of Michael Jackson talk about finding Neverland or something like that? Like, nah, man, that's good. Yeah, yeah, Melody. Hold on, let me get to that real quick. Yeah, Melody, you are absolutely right. That is this child right here that you see before you is Robert Sylvester Kelly, aka R. Kelly. Another one who in my opinion, is one of the greatest musicians of all time. Like, I don't care how you feel about it. I still listen to his music. I don't care. Like that fool can sing. Like, I don't condone all the stuff that he did. I don't condone any of the stuff that he did. Let's put that out there. But as far as music goes, can't nobody touch that dude either. Like, him and Michael are in the realm of their own. Like, people need to stop saying that, because R. Kelly, no matter how you feel about it, he is the king of R&B. I don't care. Like, whatever. He's the king of R&B. It is what it is. But I bring up R. Kelly not because of all the things that he has done to those children or whatever. And I'm actually thinking about doing a show on R. Kelly too, as far as like, all the stuff that's been going on with him. And so I'm not gonna reveal too much right here, but this is just basically about his upbringing. But yeah, I'm thinking about doing a show on R. Kelly and everything that's going on with the allegations, and especially now since a lot of the charges are being dropped. So yeah, I'm thinking about doing a show on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really am. But yeah, I bring up R. Kelly because of his story, his backstory that a lot of people don't like to talk about. See, a lot of people nowadays, they love to call him a monster. They love to say that he's evil, he's this, he's that. And like I said, I don't condone what he did. But at the same time, when you hear about everything that went on and everything that happened to him in his life, like, can you really like can you really blame the kid? Can you really blame him for that? Because this was a kid who was touched on when he was a little boy. Because even his own brothers admitted that he was touched on when he was a little boy. Even his own brothers admitted that a neighbor touched on him when he was a little boy. And it's already been put out there that his own sister molested him. His own sister. That's right, Melody. You are absolutely right. But yeah, and he definitely is the R&B GOAT. That's a fact. But yeah, yeah, his own sister did that to him. So when you do this to a child, a little young child, of course, you're finding things out for the first time. He's not gonna know what's right and what's wrong at that point. Like, he doesn't have a real conception of what is the right thing to do and what's not, especially when you're doing stuff like that to him when he's a young kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for him, unfortunately, in his mind, he thought that this was normal, what he was doing. He thought that this was normal. And like I said, it is so a shame because not even his own mother was there for him to protect him during this. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, it's not like he didn't tell people that this was happening to him. It's just Once it came out, it's like they tried to sweep it up under the rug and just, make it go away. But all it really did over time is create a monster. And this is how his story is to this point right now. Like the man is currently sitting in prison for some allegations. And I believe those allegations came about because dude was broke. Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Poor Leah too. Poor Leah. Like, yeah, that's another one too. Like, if anybody want to also touch on that, because I ain't really got too much info on Leah, because I was so engulfed with this. Y'all can bring that up on this as well. Y'all can come up on a panel and talk about it and stuff like that. But yeah, man, it's crazy. But yeah, like R. Kelly, man, like this dude, he grew up with this mindset that this was normal for him. He grew up with this mindset that was normal for him. So he didn't he didn't think that it was wrong. And plus, let's just be for real. The man is in an industry where a lot of this stuff is not frowned upon. And I'm not gonna get too much in depth into that because I'm not trying to get in trouble over here. But let's just be for real. He's involved in an industry that doesn't necessarily look down on the stuff that he was doing. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. But yeah, R. Kelly was did wrong when he was a kid, and that's what ended up making him the person that he is today. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, and it might be, some other stuff, Yeah. Yo, what's going on, Mufasa, man? What's good with you, baby boy? What's good, Rick Ross? Yeah. But yeah, that's the whole thing in a nutshell with R. Kelly, man. So, like I said, I might do a little bit more in detail with R. Kelly in a future show. I don't know when I might do that, but you know what I'm saying? Hey, you never know. But now I kind of want to touch on this movie. And this movie perfectly depicts what I'm talking about. Now, I know a lot of us are not big fans of like these type of movie genres and stuff like that, but this perfectly cap capsulizes my whole topic for this show right now. TD Jakes, Women Art Thou Loose. Now I know a lot of people probably looking at it and say like, "Oh, he about to talk about a TD Jakes movie. Oh my god, I can't stand that movie. It's so dumb. It's so stupid." I'm not talking about that in general. I'm actually going to talk about the story behind that. Now, of course, I'm not going to get in too much detail about it because I'm pretty sure even people that hated this movie watched it because you had to hate the movie. You had to watch the movie to hate it. Because if you never seen the movie and you hated it, it's like, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? So, Women Art Thou Loose. As you clearly could see, you had the girl, the daughter, right in the middle, aka I can't Kimberly Elise. I mean, in my opinion, I don't like a lot of those movies, but that movie was pretty good. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't like a top five movie for me. But it was all right. It's something to watch. You know what I'm saying? But this movie in particular, why I say it capsulizes this whole discussion today is because this girl right here, she grew up a hard life. She grew up a very, very tough life. You know what I'm saying? Because she was a girl that always wanted to sing. I think she was even singing in a choir or something like that. Because, of course, as you can see, she's in a church. So she used to sing in a choir. She used to want to sing. Like I said, she was a very innocent girl growing up. But, a lot of mothers always got that boyfriend that come into that house, and a lot of them boyfriends, they do some things to these little girls, man. You know what I'm saying? They do some things to these little girls, man. So it's crazy. Oh man, salute Ray Hammer, man. Thanks for pulling up to the show, man. I appreciate you, man. I do remember you said you was gonna pull up, but thank you for coming, man. I appreciate it. However long you stay here, I appreciate you for coming through, homie. And you know it for real. But anyway, let's get back into this show. All right. As you can see, she is very, 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 very ticked off because, like, at the very beginning of the movie, you can see her sitting in a jail cell talking to TD Jakes, and she's telling him the story, her life story, how she became, how she ended up in the position that she's in. Now, it showed that she was also a lady of the night. And you know what I'm saying? If y'all don't know what that is, that means she did some strange things for some change. You know what I'm saying? Like she did some things for some change out in them streets. You know what I'm saying? And that was like how she got locked up the first time. But she did eventually get out. You know what I'm saying? And she even had a friend, like a dude that she did like, and he really did like her. Like he wanted to help take her away from all the trauma in her life, but the trauma that she dealt with for so long was just too much to bear for her. And you would see it at the very end because, like I said, this man right here in the movie, Clifton Powell, aka the creepy you know what in the movie, who was Loretta Devine, aka that girl's mother in the movie. Like he was a sexy, nasty freak. And he was touching all on that little girl, doing all type of nasty things to that little girl. And then when the little girl finally decided to come out and tell the truth to her mother, of course, the mother decided to take his side. And that's what scarred that little girl for life, because she felt like if my own mama don't believe me, or if my own mama is choosing to take his side and he's the one who did this to me, like I don't know who I could trust. Now, yes, she did eventually get close to her aunt, which is on the far right, as you can see with that big old hat on right there. That's her aunt in the movie. So yeah, and that's her mother on the left. So yeah, you clearly saw that she got along with the auntie. She even stayed with the auntie when she got out of prison. So yeah, so she believed her, the aunt believed her, but the mother always chose to stay with the boyfriend. Now, the mother always felt like she wasn't good enough and didn't nobody want her. So the man that did want her, she didn't want to let him go no matter what, because he always gave her attention, even though he was always looking to get paid too. He wasn't doing that for free. He wasn't doing that for free. So yeah. Oh, you never saw this movie? Oh, this movie old, man. This movie is real old. Like I said, it's something to really pay attention to, especially if you were to dive into a topic like this. But this is not something I put on my recommended list to be like, oh, you definitely got to see this. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But if it's something you want to watch or something, like I ain't gonna tell you don't watch it. But it's not something that I'm like, oh, you definitely got to check this out. That's crazy. But yeah, like so like I said, and the hurt that that girl went through in her life story, you know what I'm saying? It was too much for her to bear. So one day her aunt was in church, and you know, the mother and the boyfriend, as you can see, crying all over screen. Like in this particular scene right here, this is when he finally decides to repent. This is when he decides to really be like, okay, I really give up. Yeah, yeah. You right, Mufasa. All Tyler Perry films do got similar themes to it, but this ain't a Tyler Perry movie. This is a TD Jakes movie. So yeah, I mean, you might as well say it's in the same wheelhouse, though, fam. It's in the same wheelhouse. But yeah, like, but as you can say, dude wanted to repent. He wanted to like turn his life over to God because he felt like his life was crashing down around him. He was getting harassed by so many different dudes because they wanted him to pay him the money that he owed. And if he didn't, they was going to take him out. And I mean, it was just a lot of stuff going on in this dude's life. And dude finally just decided to be like, I'm sorry. He even wanted to apologize to her for what he did to her. Now, like I said, the damage had already been done. The damage had definitely already been done to that scenario. So the fact of the matter is she was so upset, so beyond it, to where she pulled out the toolie out her purse and she blasted him. She took him out in a church. took the man out in the church, and that's how she ended up in prison from the very beginning. She deleted that man, I should say. She deleted him. And then the mother, all she could think about was she took my man from me and stuff like that, blah, 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 blah. Basically, didn't even care about her daughter. Now, of course, she said, I hate that this happened for my daughter, but she more was like, now I'm going to be alone because didn't nobody else want me and blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. You know what I'm saying? So the mother basically was just thinking about herself. While the daughter, she's hurting, she's going through what she going through, and she finally felt like she exercised her demons by taking the dude out that molested her when she was a little girl. So yeah, that's how that story came about, and that's how I say her childhood molded her to be very vengeful, very hateful. Like she had her moments to where like she had her moments to where she could be a normal person, a normal human being, but she was so overblown. She was so overwhelmed with the hatred that she had for this man to where it completely took over that day. Because we got to remember, if you ever see this movie, after all of that goes down, she never comes face to face with him until this scene where she deletes him in the church. And that was years later. So yeah. So as far as that goes, man, that's all of the stuff that I got as far as the fictional and the celebrity stuff. Now I want to get into the nitty gritty of this. Now I ain't got no pictures for the rest of this stuff, so I'm just gonna talk to y'all straight up for this one. Like now I want to talk about the stuff that I be seeing on these here panels and on these YouTube streets, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So I be seeing a lot of people on here, and I see some people, they say that they suffer from abandonment issues. They suffer from, stuff that happened in their past, whether like all the stuff, all the dirt that they did, and all of that, you know what I'm saying? So, oh, I'm about to drop the link, Melody. Don't worry. Shoot, I'm almost done with this monologue anyway. So I just wanted to touch on this stuff real quick. And then once I do that, I want to have the people come up and then tell their stories and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna drop that link. Don't worry. Don't worry. She ready. She like, drop the link, drop the link. But yeah, like it's a lot of people, not just women, not just dudes, but women too. Like it's a lot of you could tell it's a lot of people in this space that are hurt, and you could tell they probably went through a lot when they was growing up. You know what I'm saying? So it just showcases that this type of subject, it don't get talked about a lot. We always want to talk about like relationship issues. We always want to talk about man versus woman. We always want to talk about stuff that goes on with celebrities and stuff like that. But stuff that's really affected our community and stuff that's really affected our society, that's constantly being displayed on these panels, they don't get talked about. And I guess it don't bring no revenue, it don't bring no eyes and stuff like that. People don't want to talk about this. They want to talk about stuff to where they can cut up and act a fool and stuff. And believe me, I get it. I like my effery streams every now and again. I love some fun. I love all this stuff. But like I said, but when stuff like this is constantly being thrown in my face, I can't go without talking about it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, and it's a shame to say that, you know what I'm saying? Because the majority of this comes from my people, and I hate that this is going on for my people, but this is what it is. So, like I said, I might get more into depth when I, have a full panel of people to discuss this, but this is all I really want to say right now. You know what I'm saying? So right now I'm about to drop the link because Melody, she's impatient right now. So let me go ahead and drop this link for real.